out there. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is when you are watching this video. What's up with y'all? Today is day 10 of our discipline challenge. And like I said yesterday, today we will be doing a complete beginner's flow, all right? This is a yoga flow for everyone, like even the people who have never even done yoga before. This is a flow for you. Like, I will include all types of modifications. I'm even gonna show y'all how to make you a little prop for these modifications. So I'm gonna give people a little bit more time to get in. I did say I was gonna go live at 12, so I'm like 10 minutes early, 10 minutes early. But I just wanted to get in early so I can explain all these things to y'all. So yes, beginner flow today for everyone. We'll have modifications. We'll show y'all how to make a little prop. And this flow is not gonna be that long because like I said, this is for everybody. And I want everybody to be able to do this. So we're just gonna go ahead and just go on the mat. It's 11:51. We're starting 9 minutes early. It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna start early. Anyway though, I guess I can show y'all what you're gonna need before we get into the yoga. I can show y'all what we're gonna need before we get into the yoga. Basically, all you're gonna need, the only prop we are going to use here is a folded blanket. If you have a yoga block, you can use a yoga block. But like I said, I wanted to make this video accessible for everyone, and not everyone has yoga blocks, not everyone has yoga straps, but you can use a folded blanket. So what I have here is just a little blanket, and I just folded it up into a square. And we're gonna use this for some of the modifications in our yoga. But yo, that's all I really had to explain. That's all I really had to talk about real quick. So let's just get straight into it. Alrighty. So basically, we are going to start in a seated position. I've been in my yoga class, y'all. I've been getting my yoga certificate, and I've been a lot. So now I actually know the actual name for this pose. It's called easy seat. I just be saying it's a seated position. I literally just be saying that. But yo, it's the actual name for this. People be calling this easy seat. So we're just gonna get into this position right here. If this is a little bit too much for you, you can take a blanket, a little folded blanket. You can set it on the mat and you can sit on it so you can raise your hips a little bit higher than your knees. And like I said, that is optional. Those are for folks who need that for a bit more comfortability. Me, I don't need the folded blanket just yet. So I'm gonna set it to the side. I'm gonna set that to the side. And we're just gonna start with a couple of breaths here. We're just gonna do a little bit of breath work. We're not gonna pretty much get into any movements yet. We're just gonna deepen our breaths. So you can go ahead, you can take your hands, you can set them on your knees. And we're gonna start with taking a deep breath through our nose. So we're gonna take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out your nose or mouth. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Take a deep breath with me. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out the nose or mouth. One more breath here, guys. Deep breath with me. And a deep breath out the nose or mouth. All right, now we're going to start to introduce a little bit of movements here. With our next inhale, we're going to raise our arms above our head, extending the arms, maybe raise your gaze, and as you exhale, you're gonna lower your arms back down towards your side. Let's do that 3 more times, guys. So deep breath with me. Raising the arms above your head, raising your gaze. Maybe touch your fingertips together, maybe you don't. And as you exhale, we're just gonna lower our hands back down to our side. Let's do that 2 more times. Like I said, we're just moving slow movements here. Nothing too deep, nothing too strenuous. This is a beginner flow for everyone. So we're gonna do that 2 more times. Deep breath with me. Stretching our arms above our head, raising our gaze. And as we exhale, lowering our arms back down to our side. 1 more time here. Deep breath with me. Arms go up, gaze goes up. Maybe touch your fingertips, maybe you don't. And as you exhale, go ahead and bring those arms back down to your side. Take a deep breath here. This time we're gonna raise our arms. Inhale with me. And as we exhale, we're just gonna tilt just a little bit, not too much, towards the left. It's okay, you don't have to put your whole forearm down, just your fingertips touching the left as your right hand stretches overhead. It doesn't have to stretch all the way. You don't have to do a deep stretch. Hey, if this is where you're at right here, that is perfectly okay. We're gonna take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to rock towards the opposite side. Like I said, you don't have to go all the way down. You do not have to go down to your forearms. You can stay up on your fingertips, and you don't have to stretch all the way over. You can stay just like this. Let's take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to switch towards the left, and we're just going to do this for a couple more rounds. So inhale here, exhale, let's switch. Nice and slow movements, nothing too fast. Deep breath with me. Deep breath out as we switch. Inhale here, exhale and switch. We're going to do that one more round. Deep breath here. Exhale, switch. Last time on the left. Deep breath with me. Exhale and switch. Last time on the right. Inhale through the nose. Exhale to stretch your arms above your head. Go ahead and take another deep breath here. Exhale, go ahead and touch your fingers together. Bring your hands down to heart chakra center. Let's take a deep breath here, guys. Inhale with me. And a deep breath out. One more breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and release your hands. Go ahead and set them on the mat. We're going to get ready to transition into a tabletop formation. So I want you to take your hands. I want you to set them to the side, set them out in front of you. And we're going to release our little cross we just did, setting one leg above the other as we twist out into a tabletop. All right, take your time to get there. There is no rush. Okay, y'all, no rush. Take your time getting there. We're going to stack our wrists under our shoulders, and we're going to stack our knees under our hips. Okay, like I said, there is no rush to getting into this position. I want you guys to flow here at your own pace, Hello, thank you for joining. You guys can stay in that tabletop formation. I'm gonna read this comment really quickly. Just stay there though. Stay there, y'all. Stay there. Alrighty. All right. Does that say, I was gonna say Bali, but then I feel like there's another way to pronounce this. I feel like I can say Baliaz, but I really was gonna say Baliaz. But hey, whichever way I pronounce that, please correct me. I can be wrong. But they said hi. Hey, thank you for joining. In. We're just doing a beginner flow here. Nothing too strenuous. I want this flow to be for all my people who never even done yoga before. This is for y'all, okay? This is for y'all. Hold up, let me see this real quick. They said no problem, sweetie. All right, good. I swear, I hate to pronounce people's name wrong. I be feeling like an idiot. I really do. When I read things and they be wrong, I be like, damn, I need to go back to school. But anyway, let's get back onto the mat and let's continue with our yoga flow. All right, they said it's okay. All right, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Okay, Roman said, I'm sorry, I am not good with other languages. I need to learn more, okay? That's all I have to say. I need to learn more. I need to be more. But thank you for joining. They said it's French. Shit, I need to learn how to speak French. I need to learn how to speak at least 3 other languages than my native language. Oh God. But hi, thank you guys for joining. We are going to get back into it, and then after we do a couple more exercises, I'm going to read the rest of the comments. So let's get back into it. Like I said before, we're just going to ease our way into our tabletop. If your knees are a bit sensitive, maybe having pressure on your knees like this is a bit too much for you, You can always take a folded blanket, take you a little blanket, just like so. Go ahead and fold it up into like a little square, like this. You can set that on your mat, and you can set your knees on your blanket as a little cushion so your knees aren't hurting if this position is a bit too much for you. This is a modification that you can do. Me, I don't need this right now, so I'm just going ahead and set this to the side, but I wanted to show you guys just in case you did need this modification. So let me just set that to the side right now. And let's get back into our tabletop. Remember, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. We're gonna have our fingertips spread wide, just like so, and we're going to slightly grip the mat. We're not gonna do too much exercises here. We're just gonna stay for a couple breaths before we start introducing our cat-cows. So let's just take a deep breath here. Just getting your body used to tabletop formation. And a deep breath out. We're gonna take one in our tabletop. And a deep breath out. Now we're going to slowly start introducing our cat-cows. So next we're gonna take a deep breath in. Dip your belly. Your spine is arching as you raise your gaze. I'm sorry, I have to blow the spider off my hand. Anyway, your belly is dipping and you are raising your gaze and expanding your chest into your cow. And as you exhale, you're going to round the spine, pulling your chin to your chest for your cat. And we're just going to do that for a couple rounds. Deep breath here, dipping the belly, expanding the chest, raising the gaze, and a deep breath out, rounding the spine, pulling chin to chest nice and slow. Our movements are not going to be fast here. I want everyone to be able to do this. Let's take another deep breath in, dipping the belly, raising the gaze. This is our cow. And as we exhale, we're going to round the spine, bringing chin to chest for our cat. Let's do that one more time, guys. Deep breath in. Dip your belly. Arch your spine, raise your gaze. And a deep breath out, bringing your chin to your chest as your spine rounds into your cat. All right, with our next inhale, we're going to center our spine and tabletop. Take a deep breath with me. And as you exhale, we're going to send our belly towards our heels for child's pose. If this is inaccessible for you, you can always widen your stance, or you can always bring your legs closer together. Whatever is most comfortable for you. I find that sometimes having your legs close together is a lot easier for this position, but for some, having your legs a little bit wider and farther apart is easier for them. So like I said, just, practice with, closing your legs, opening your legs to find the perfect distance for you inside your child's pose. Me, personally, I like to have my legs a little bit close to each other for my first set of child pose, for my first one of the day. I like my knees about this distance. But like I said, just play around with it. Play around with it to find your perfect distance. And from there, we're just gonna lower our chest and our head towards the mat. And we're gonna take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Optional to keep your arms extended like this. But if this is too uncomfortable for you, you can always take your hands and you can always set them by your side. Both of those things are optional. We're just going to take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out. If your legs or get too sensitive in this position, like I said, you can always take a blanket. You can always lay your blanket on the mat. You can always set your legs on your blanket like this if it's a bit too sensitive on the ground. Like I said, optional though, totally optional. We're just gonna stay for one more breath here. And as we exhale, we're gonna take our hands. If your hands were by your side like mine, you can just take your hands, set your palms against the mat as you slowly push yourself up into a seated position. If you have your blanket under your legs, go ahead and move that. Go ahead and move that out the way, or set it back up for your tabletop formation if you had them laying under your knees. I'm gonna set that to the side. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shift back into tabletop nice and slow. Knees stacked under hips, wrists stacked under shoulders, and we're gonna take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out. For our next exercise, we're going to do some small circles here. And what do I mean by that? Basically, we're just going to be moving our body in small circles. Nothing too deep here. You don't have to rock under your wrists. You don't have to send your hips all the way to your heels. You can stay right here in this formation. Just taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Two more breaths here before we switch to the opposite direction. Inhale with me. And exhale out your nose or mouth. One more breath here. Deep breath with me. Inhaling through our nose. And exhaling out the nose or mouth. One more breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and switch to the opposite direction. So if you are spinning towards the right, go ahead and spin towards the left. And if you're spinning towards the left, just go ahead and spin towards the right. And we're just going to do that for 3 breaths. So go ahead and take a deep breath with me. And a deep breath out. Like I said, your circles do not have to be that deep. You do not have to rock over your wrist. You do not have to send your hips towards your heels. You can stay exactly where you are. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling with me. And exhaling out the nose or mouth. 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, just go ahead and find stillness. Readjust your tabletop if need be. Remember, wrists stacked under shoulders and knees stacked under hips. We're going to take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, I want you to slowly walk your hands out as you lower your chest down to puppy's pose. If this right here feels a little bit inaccessible to you, you can always scoot your hands a little bit closer to lower down if the stretch is a bit too deep for you. Me, I'm going to keep my hands extended out because that's most comfortable for me. But like I said, it is optional. I'm sorry, I had to wipe whatever was crawling on me off. All right, let's take a deep breath here. In a deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out the nose or mouth. 1 more breath here. Deep breath through our nose. And as you exhale, I want you to take your forearms, keep them on the mat as you slowly shift yourself forward. Scoot your legs back to create room for your Sphinx pose. And just settle into Sphinx. We're not going to do any extreme movements here. I just want you to settle into this position for 3 breaths. So go ahead and settle into your Sphinx. Take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out. Two more breaths here. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out the nose or mouth. 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, just go ahead and lower your chest down towards the mat. Take your hands. I want you to set them by your lower ribs. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, use the strength in your hands to push yourself up and back into a tabletop. Once in tabletop, take your time to readjust if need be. Wrist under shoulders, hips underneath. Oh, why was I going to say hips underneath? Knees under hips, y'all. Knees under hips. Take a deep breath with me. And as we exhale, we're going to prepare ourselves for a downward dog. If you've never been in a downward dog, I'm going to show you some modifications, but we're just going to prepare ourselves for that real quick. So go ahead and spread your fingertips wide. Go ahead and grip the mat. With a deep breath in, you're going to tuck your toes. And as you exhale, you're going to pick your hips up and shift to a downward dog. It's okay if your heels do not ground all the way down. This is your first time. And if this is a bit intense for you, just go ahead and bend the legs. Let me walk closer so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Go ahead and just bend your knees to make this position a bit more accessible for you. I can, as a beginner, as someone who has never done downward dog before, sometimes keeping your legs straight like this can be a bit intense on your hamstrings and in the backs of your legs. For those of you who are beginners who want a modification for this pose, just go ahead and bend your knees. Just slightly bend your knees to make the position a bit more accessible. For those of you who do not need this modification, you can just go ahead and straighten your legs out. And like I said before, it's okay if your heels do not ground all the way down like this. If your heels are up like this, that's totally okay. Like I said, we're just working our way into these positions. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. With our next inhale, we're just going to start paddling out the downward dog so we can create room in this position. Go ahead and take a deep breath with me. And a deep breath out as you paddle out your legs. Like I said, for those of you who have your knees bent like this, just keep paddling it out. Even with your bent knees, just make sure your paddles are not that deep so the position doesn't get too uncomfortable for you. I'm going to straighten my legs back out and I'm going to continue to paddle them out, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and find stillness. If your knees are bent, just go ahead and keep them bent. I'm going to keep mine straightened and I'm going to take a deep breath here in stillness. And a deep breath out. I'm going to take one more breath here. And as I exhale, I'm going to take baby steps to my hands. Baby steps here. If you have never done a forward fold and this is a bit too intense for you, you can go ahead and bend your knees. You can bend your knees to make this a bit more accessible for you. Or if you have a yoga block or a book or anything like that, you can set those blocks in front of you and you can set your hands on the blocks like this so you can keep your legs straight. But if you do not have any blocks or anything like that, like I said, you can just bend your knees, okay? You can just bend your knees so you can place your hands on the mat. Me, I'm going to keep mine straight and I'm going to take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. Don't worry. I know this is like the first for real forward fold of the day, so we're only going to stay for 2 more breaths. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's take one more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to take our hands and we're going to walk them up our legs until we are fully standing, nice and slow, nice and slow. Go ahead and take a deep breath here in your standing position. And a deep breath out. I'm going to take one more breath here, but this time we're going to raise our arms above our head. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to heart chakra center. I'm going to turn towards you guys so you guys can see what we're going to do next. Basically, we're going to stand in our mountain pose for a couple of breaths. Mountain pose is when your feet are next to each other just like this and your big toes are touching. But if this is a bit, inaccessible for you, you can always widen your legs to hip distance. Remember, y'all, this is not hip distance. Hip distance is when you're stacked under your hips.